And a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a go. Hey, good afternoon, folks, wherever you are. It's July 8th, 2018. You're listening to My Alaskan Backyard with Greg. I'm Greg, your host. We're going to look at some stuff that we did in the last couple weeks, go over some photographs and a little video, and show you a little bit more of what Alaska looks like for those who've never been here. Okay, here I am. All right, so we've got some stuff we've done. Last couple of weeks we've gone up the Hatchery Pass again to Archangel. That's around. We went and checked out the little, the Eklutna tail race, where the only place in South Central Alaska now that you can fish for king salmon. If you haven't heard, the king salmon return for the 2018 crashed. The Kenai River is closed. The Kings, the Kenai, all of the Kenai Peninsula, all of the Matsu is closed. I haven't heard about any closures out in Bristol Bay or any place like that, but in Cook Inlet, it's crashed totally. There's nothing. All the fishing's closed. Even the saltwater shit's closed down. So, if you're interested in king salmon fishing, you're shit out of luck for this year. So, with that, let's go. That introduction. Let's go to Sheep Creek here. Not Sheep Creek, but the Eklutna River, the Eklutna tail race. It's called the Eklutna tail race. But basically, what it is it's the tail race of a power plant that was built on the side of a mountain back in the 50s to supply energy, hydroelectric energy to the Anchorage area, and also to harness the water, the glacier water out of Eklutna Lake, and provide drinking water for Anchorage. So this is the tail race, and down there they've got a hatchery, and so every year they let hatchery spawn out there, and so the runs, it's an artificial run, in other words, and they usually come back, and they don't care whether they make it back or not, because they've got so many eggs and stuff already set up and going along. So every couple of years they'll harvest those kings for more egg supply, but the kings come back every year, and so this is probably the only place where they don't have to worry about getting spawning return levels, because they're all hatchery fish. So we'll see how long this year before they close that. So I'll take you on a little tour of it here and get things keyed up. And there you go. Okay, so this is the a shot going up towards the hatchery back there in the right corner, about right there. And let's see if you can see my mouse move or not. I don't think it's showing the mouse. But and this lagoon here is where they come in. There's a little better shot of it. And the fish will come in right there. And there's out looking towards, that's the Matanuska River out there in the distance. And then there's this slough here is where people will be fishing. And as you there's fishermen. This was taken about about a week and a half ago, before the 4th of July weekend. I think it was on that Thursday. So to some folks, this may look like there's not very many folks there, but actually there's probably about 40 people fishing this little area. This fishable area is only like 150 yards max. Yeah, there's another shot of them. So I'm sure it's, and there's another shot. That's from looking up the creek from the other side of the bank. And there's an embankment there that's made of old cars, and this is the remnants of them. What they did was they took all the old junker cars that they had up here and put them in the river to stop the river erosion, and use them, and then they backfill them with sand and gravel and rocks and stuff, kind of make embankments and jetties and stuff out of them. So there are some remnants. You can't find a lot of old cars in Alaska because they recycled them like this, you know. They bury them and use them to build things out of. There's a shot of some more of them. And they're kind of interesting. So you can see some old shit down there. My wife Reaper took these. She likes forms and colors and stuff like that. An artistic nature. There's another shot. And let's see. I believe this is up with Archangel. So the same day we went, let's see, we went up to other places, and let's see here. Oh yeah, the same day we were at Moose Creek. This is Moose Creek, just up the road from us. It's owned by the Chickaloom Indian Reservation, the Indian tribe up there. It's a really nice little campground, really well maintained, in a beautiful little area. Right along the Glen Highway there. It's a little north of Palmer. It was a nice day that day, so we were out taking a little hike and went looking for like places we could go panning and things. There's my mug. There's my baby's mug. Here's some Alaskan wildflowers here. We kind of like to take pictures of flowers for some reason. Who knows why. They're just pretty. This is a tea rose. We have these wild all over Alaska. I mean, they're sort of an invasive species, but they're very pretty ones. This is by the creek there. Cottonwoods are growing everywhere. This was and those flowers you see here are what they call wild chrysanthemums, and they grow all over the state too. Very pretty little flower. Okay, so let's go back up here. So Though that's the Moose Creek and including the tail race. Now we went up in around June 29th. We headed up north, up Hatcher Pass again and goof off for the day. And here's what we saw: wildflowers, thousands and thousands of wildflowers. I forget what the name of those are, but they're just kind of yellowish. There's me shooting some film in that meadow. There's another shot. Reva took these shots. There's a shot of the Archangel. There's another one. And here's some wildflowers we saw up there. We got a book on wildflowers. We try to identify them after we find them, because some of them are berry flowers and a lot of edible plants. There's another shot of Archangel Valley. There's a road up here that you can't see from this angle, but you go up there, and I'll be taking you up there, up into this valley, and you'll see a little more mountains back there. And here I am again, putting the camera together. And this is a magpie up in Archangel. We're down by the river, or the I guess it's a cricklet. A little bit faster and bigger than cricks down in the States, but that's some cold ass water there. It's just barely above freezing. You imagine what the miners and stuff up there had to deal with when they're placer gold prospecting, standing in that water, that cold ass water, for hours at a time. And here's some more pretty flowers we saw along the road. I believe those purple ones are purple lupine, and those are Arctic daisies. And you see some fireweed starting there, different places, but and just the power of that water moves those giant boulders around. And there's a shot up in the Archangel Valley. There's the bridge across the creek. And there's, I forget what the name of this mountain is, but that's pretty much sheer, it's some bedrock all the way to the top, sheer slate type thing. There's a good shot of some of the side of the mountains, and there's some more, a little more detail. Zoom in, you can see more detail there, how the bedrock acts up there. And it's shot through quartz. If you can see that white stuff, that's all quartz, and that's where the gold's usually found, is mixed in with those quartz veins. So if you go prospecting up there, and they're active mines all over up here, up in this mountain. There's so you can't just go sniping gold willy-nilly. You need to figure out if you're on somebody's claim or not. But the stuff that is claimed is really well marked, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding the claim markers. Make sure you're not inside of them. And here's a shot along the road, more daisies and lupines. And there's a shot of the river. And that's an artistic shot that Reva took. And that looks kind of cool too. See the rust and stuff. That bridge has been there a while. And I think there's some, that's a shot back from Archangel on the road to Cook Inlet over here. on the right and the Matsu Valley in front of you. And there's another shot of that. When we took a shot of these flowers, it turns out there's some type of berry, but there's so many cool flowers and stuff up there. A lot of them are berry flowers, and there's a lot of edible plants up here. So actually, you know, you're not gonna starve if shit hits the fan and the boats stop docking at the port and the planes stop flying in. You're still going to eat pretty well and be pretty well took care of. Here's some video. I'll show you. I shot this. That's down at the bottom of the mountain by Gold Mint Trail.
Okay, folks, welcome to my Alaskan backyard. It's now summer. We're up in the pass. Take a look. It's a little misty today. A little rain. Not bad. That's Archangel Pass up there. The whole area is known as Hatcher Pass.
It's pretty serene up there, the birds and the water flowing. It's really nice. Yeah, that's some really nice area up there. Let's see. Okay, these turn out to be dwarf rosemary plants or the flowers. That's what the book identifies them, or marsh rosemary, because this is all marshy ground here. It's a little wacky. There's a little wacky shot that's moving around kind of much. And here's some more, folks. Even more. Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong direction. No, that's not the wrong direction.
I don't know what these look.
There we go.
I don't know what these little flowers are, but they're really pretty. Little pinky flowers.
That wasn't a very long clip, but you get the gist. And you see Archangel here. Again, Archangel area.
Here we are at Archangel.
That was pretty cool. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, here's some more footage. Yep. Sensitive mouse there. Trying to capture the scale of the area. And here are some more of the area. Look at those boulder cliffs. That looks like an interesting climb, does it not? Yeah, if it's only 40 years younger. Let's see here. Just a little more. This is my sweetie. Check out this river, or excuse me, this creek. This is the creek, and we pull back, I think, and show the valley again. Yep. Okay. And there's more flowers. Let's go and see where we're at there. Alrighty. Okay. So now we're up to July 1st. And what happened, July 1st is when we went down to Cottonwood Creek in the Palmer Hay Flats there. So there were people down there training their bird dogs, believe it or not. And you'll hear a couple of dudes that we saw down there. Mainly we went down there to look at the wildflowers, and we're trying. It's a big nesting area for waterfowl. So I thought maybe we'd see some ducks and stuff. I've been there quite frequently in the past years, And usually this time of year, there are a few salmon coming in, and there are lots and lots of birds that have nested down there. You'll usually see big flocks of them moving around. Everything from sandhill cranes to geese and ducks and all the little shorebirds. They're down there. That whole area at one time was above sea level, and during the '64 earthquake, it shrunk. It dropped. I think it was like 10 to 11 feet from where it's at now. So that was enough of a drop to turn it into a tidal flat and marshes. Before that, it was all high ground and had been farmed to grow hay. So locally, it's known as the Palmer Hay Flats, but it's a bird sanctuary. Since the earthquake and it became tidal flats, it's a reserve, and people go down there, hunt in the fall. They ski, all kinds of stuff. A lot of folks use the area. So without ado, let's go down there and check that out. And I probably should put some music on in the background. But now what you're seeing here are I believe they're irises, wild irises. I mean, they're all over the place. And there's some, God, I forget what the name of that flower is. And there's another batch of wild irises. And another one. The whole place is just full of wild flowers. And as far as you can see, this is the time of year where they're flowering and setting seed and stuff. So those are still the wild irises. It's a little close-up shot, I think. And here's a group of them. I think there's kind of like mixture of 2 or 3 different types of flowers here. I'm not sure. I'm not a botanist. There's a nice shot of the seagrass. It's so neat down there because you can smell the ocean. Looks like a young cottonwood. I'm not certain. This time of year, the cottonwoods are blooming, and they're setting their seed. And when the seed sets and it's ready to be blown off the trees, it's like a snowstorm in most of the south central here. It's just the fibers getting in the air, and if you got allergies, you probably don't want to visit during July, because man, you're going to suffer. Everything blooms. The trees are blooming, and the air is just filled with fibers. Here's another nice shot of the irises, I believe. Yep, wild irises. There's a nice shot of them. So I'm going to put some of these shots up on Albury and Shuttercock and let people buy them if they're interested. I should post. I'll post next time we do this. I'll post the links to the source material where you can go and download some of the pictures if you want to spend a couple of pennies to get it for a background for your computer. Oh, there you go. Look at those. Those are pretty. This is a very nice shot. The detail. Most of these shots are done with the Coolpix 900. It's got like a 28 to 2000 millimeter lens on it. It's It's not a super camera because it won't allow you to do things like manually focus it. It's all autofocus crap. Here's another nice one. And these guys here, I think Reaver's still looking them up and figure out. It's some type of shrub, but I don't know which it is. As you can see, we're on the probably north side of Cook Inlet. This Cook Inlet is out here. This is the Matanuska River. And the Knik River is farther over. And the Susitna River is on this direction. They all come out into this area right over here, right over on the right hand side. But you can't see that, I guess, because my mouse is not working correctly. And this is a little backward slough there on the trail. More of it. More of those little flowers down there. Are we going in the right direction? Let's see. Yeah, we are. Sorry, folks. Don't get dizzy. I'm still learning this software. There you go. There's another field of them. And some more. There's one of the dogs that they were training to be a bird dog. I told the guy when I saw this thing, I said that looks more like a poodle or something that you would have in you know, like a big city dog. It don't look like no country bird dog. And there's some, I don't know, there's some grass type thing. Okay, now here's a cottonwood tree that's blooming. It's releasing all those long strings of cotton get airborne in the air, and it gets so thick it's almost like a snowstorm. It's kind of neat. And there's another shot of it. The close up, as you can see, look at the one on the left there. It looks like a huge cotton ball, but when the wind hits them, they blow off of there, and there's just little pieces of fiber with a seed on the end of it, and they're putting out gazillions of seeds. And I guess their strategy is successful because there are big, huge cottonwoods forests in this part of Alaska. There's a shot to the north of the flats on the looking north there. That's kind of northeast. Those are the Chudiak Mountains. This is a video. We'll play it. Say,
welcome to my Alaskan backyard. Today we're down at the Palmer Hay Flats State Park. All this land used to be above sea level until the 1964 earthquake. So we're down here today looking at wildflowers. Too bad it does not smell of vision, so you can smell the salt air.
excuse me for a second there. I had to take a drink of water. And here's some more.
We have wildflowers everywhere down here.
It's amazing, almost the same exact dialogue I've said before.
As far as the eye can see.
Yeah, same dialogue. All right. There's some more shots of it. You hear them dogs barking in the background?
Yeah, it's in the background.
Well, them dogs are over in the parking lot. They had like 10 dogs they were training that day. I'm using my new monopod
this direction is
for the camera.
We call Anchorage. There's the lovely Reba.
And next, some more flowers. I believe the guys that you hear in the background on the next two are the two trainers that were training the dogs.
Yeah, you guys may hear it occasionally.
He was talking about his starter's pistol going off. We told him don't worry about that. We're packing heat too. The sound of gunfire doesn't bother us.
More wildflowers.
And let's see what else we got. Oh, even more footage. Not very long, a couple seconds. I think that was I was shooting that for a cut in. This is all raw stuff. I haven't edited any of it. Did any color corrections or sound work or anything. This is just all raw footage. Here you go. And that's about it. Let's see. Yep, that's all of that. Let's get out of there. And try and wrap it up here. So that's what we've done in the last couple of weeks. We're still waiting for the I'll take you guys on a couple salmon fishing expeditions coming up here, and hopefully we'll get some fish and some nice photographs of some of the techniques. And I'm going to run the drone at the same time so I can get some aerials of the salmon streams and the people fishing and stuff. We're just right now waiting for the fish to come in, and hopefully they're not all dead like the king salmon are. Down in the red salmon are doing really good down on the Kenai right now, but they, from what I heard, the ones that are harvested in the Copper River Basin crashed, and they closed that fishery, and they closed the subsistence for that one as well. And a lot of people in the Anchorage Bowl and in the Mat-Su Valley and just about everywhere close to the Copper River depend on those fish to fill their freezers for the winter. And so if those don't come in, there's going to be some hell to pay. Right now, they're supposed to be managing this resource for all of us, but unless there's some external reason, like say radiation in the ocean, there should be fish here. The only other explanation is that they allocated too much for the commercial catch, and the people that live in Alaska, though aren't commercial fishermen, which is like 99.5% of us, aren't going to get nothing, and that's going to have to change. But that's the political bullshit, and we can have a show on that someday if we are really bored. So you can get a hold of this show and all my other shows at the following addresses. I'm going to soon be on Instagram as well, as soon as I figure out how to use it. And if I can actually do something productive on a little device like a iPhone 5S. I don't know if that will work. If Instagram works on my iPad, I may start posting there from that too. I don't know for sure, but I'd like to thank you folks for sticking with us, and a special shout out goes to the two guys in the NSA whose job it is to monitor this shit. So hope you guys had a good holiday, and I hope they're paying you really well. With that, we shall move along. Have a good one.